We are going to begin this morning with what you might have missed last night. This was an election night nail biter. In Wisconsin, NBC News projects Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley wins the Democratic primary for Wisconsin governor in a narrow upset. That call was made overnight after he was locked in a razor-thin race with progressive Francesca Hong.
In the run-up to the primary, the polling was very tight but showed Hong consistently leading. NBC News spoke to a number of late deciding Democratic primary voters who said they ended up voting for Crowley.
Why did you vote for David Crowley?
Because I think he can win.
I voted for Crowley because I am a risk-averse person. And I really was reading a lot about, who has the chances to beat Tom Tiffany in the larger election.
In other primary news, in South Carolina, we now have a runoff instead of a coronation. Darlene Graham is the sister of late Senator Lindsey Graham and President Trump's pick for the spot. She led the GOP field, but did fall short of the 50% needed to clinch the nomination. So now she'll face Congressman Ralph Norman in the August 25th runoff. And a major setback for the president in Minnesota. Republican State House Speaker Lisa Demuth defeated Mike Lindell, that's the MyPillow founder, who had Mr. Trump's endorsement. Demuth will go up against Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar in the race for governor in November. We have a team of reporters following this for us from Washington. NBC News reporter Megan Brand is going to break down the dynamics. But let's start with NBC News Washington correspondent Alice Barr. Alice, good morning.
Good morning, Joe and Savannah. And we'll start with the Wisconsin governor's race, really the big talker of the morning because of what it may say about divisions in the Democratic Party. And the buzzword there was electability. Primary voters evidently decided the Democratic Socialist candidate was too much of a risk to be able to win in the November general election in that critical swing state.
We are here
this morning, an upset in the closely watched race for Wisconsin governor, with NBC News projecting David Crowley narrowly defeated Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong in the Democratic primary. Crowley has the backing of the party's establishment wing and argued Hong's positions are too extreme on issues like calling to abolish police, something she says she no longer supports.
We're going to need someone who can build the necessary coalitions and speak to unity, not necessarily division.
Crowley now takes on Republican nominee Tom Tiffany in November, as the debate over Democratic divisions also played out in the Senate primary in Minnesota, where moderate incumbent Representative Angie Craig fell to progressive Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan.
We can insist on change and send someone who will always put Minnesota first.
While on the Republican side in South Carolina, Senator Darlene Graham is headed for a runoff against GOP Congressman Ralph Norman in the special election to replace her brother, the late Senator Lindsey Graham. Darlene Graham was appointed to hold the seat temporarily, with President Trump backing her in her brother's honor.
He actually said she's better than him. That was hard for Lindsey to say.
While Norman is drawing attention to her lack of experience.
I don't know where she stands on a lot of issues.
I've been accused of not being a politician, guilty as charged. I will spend the next 2 weeks of this runoff meeting with voters and, unlike some politicians, listening to their concerns.
And in Connecticut, 14-term incumbent Congressman John Larson lost his Democratic primary to the former mayor of Hartford, Luke Bronin, who is 3 decades younger and campaigned on the need for generational change in Congress, part of a broader push among Democrats. Joe and Savannah.
All right, Alice, thank you so much.
For more on this, let's bring in NBC News political reporter Megan Brand. Megan, good morning. So let's start with Wisconsin. I want to walk through some of the dynamics coming into that primary day that just made that particular race so razor thin.
Good morning. So first of all, this race wasn't even expected to be as razor thin as it was. Polling had actually indicated Francesca Hong in the lead heading into yesterday. But essentially, this was a race between the moderate and the progressive wings of the party here. And ultimately, there were some voters, some in the Democratic Party, who pointed to things like Francesca Hong's social media history, which was controversial, and raised concerns about the possibility that she wouldn't not be able to pull out a general election win in a very swing state. Another dynamic to watch here was the fact that this was a pretty unusual path for Crowley. He had actually previously dropped out of the race, and then he got back into the race after a frontrunner had dropped out during a financial reporting scandal. So an unusual path to get to what we saw unfold last night, guys.
Let's turn to Minnesota's governor's race. Let's be clear, the Democrat here, Amy Klobuchar, is a Democrat who can win in Trump counties. But now having Mike Lindell out of the race, what does that do for this race coming up in November?
Yeah, so Republicans ultimately, they selected Lisa Demuth. She's the Minnesota State House Speaker instead of Lindell, who is a close ally of President Trump, but he's also promoted election conspiracy theories. So, Minnesota is traditionally a bluer state as well. It's a state that Vice President Kamala Harris won by about 4 points. But a notable part of this story here as well is really just the fact that this is a candidate that Mike Lindell was a candidate who President Trump had endorsed. And we saw in other races across the country, candidates who were in these tightly contested races who were endorsed by President Trump pulling out wins in many cases. And so now this proved to be an upset for President Trump as well. And that shakes up the dynamics, too, heading into the general election.
So Trump's endorsement didn't really work there in Minnesota, but in a way, for Darlene Graham in South Carolina, not quite enough, though. She's in this runoff without getting 50% of the vote. What are we looking for between now and August 25th there?
Yeah, so she's in a runoff race against Congressman Ralph Norman. And one factor to watch here is how voters are thinking about these candidates' levels of experience, as well as how President Trump's endorsement factored into this. So our colleagues on the ground in South Carolina the past couple of days, we're hearing from some voters who were concerned about Darlene Graham's lack of experience. She's never held elected office before. So that's one factor to watch. And then again, President Trump had endorsed Darlene Graham even before she had announced that she was going to run for a full term. So now we're going to have to see how President Trump is approaching this race as well in the next coming weeks as we head off to this runoff race later this month, guys.
All right, Megan Brand, thank you so much.
President Trump has now confirmed reports that he covertly switched planes while traveling back from the NATO summit in Turkey last month. He said the decision was made by the Secret Service and the military because of a security threat. NBC News previously confirmed the Washington Post bombshell reporting about that dramatic switch. The president secretly moved to an unmarked military jet using a catering truck after boarding Air Force One in front of cameras. Well, now we're learning new details about both the elaborate plan and the threat itself. NBC News Chief White House correspondent Garrett Hake has the story.
New details of the elaborate operation by the Secret Service to covertly swap President Trump's planes amid fears of an Iranian assassination plot. All of it happening at last month's NATO summit in Turkey, just a few hundred miles from the Iranian border. The president had arrived aboard his Qatari-gifted Air Force One, but raised eyebrows by announcing he'd take an older plane home, sending the new plane ahead to a British airbase.
It's flying to Europe, to one of the big bases, so the soldiers can see it because it's truly magnificent.
But a U.S. official tells NBC News the change was made because of a, quote, extremely serious Iranian threat, including that the Iranian regime could target the president with a shoulder-fired missile. So the Secret Service devising a clandestine departure plan. It was a snap decision, the U.S. official tells us. Our job is to keep the president safe, adding, this is probably the most unprecedented level of alertness we've ever been at. You could see the president boarding the old Air Force One. Then, as the camera pulls back, there's a glimpse of a catering truck parked behind it. Later, a small group of reporters, the press pool, unwittingly board what would become a decoy jet, as Secret Service agents were covertly moving President Trump to that catering truck, which drives away and pulls up next to a small military jet further down the tarmac. That plane would then fly President Trump out of Turkey. A U.S. official telling NBC News that Cabinet Secretaries Marco Rubio and Scott Bessent and other senior staff remained on board the decoy plane, the old light blue and white Air Force One, while Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth joined President Trump on the smaller aircraft. After landing in the UK, President Trump is seen walking off the old Air Force One, which he had secretly just reboarded. Back aboard the new plane, he brushed off a question about Iranian threats.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force One?
I have a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list.
The Secret Service has declined to comment on this episode, but a senior official who was on that trip told me that for the White House, the president's safety is paramount, and that staff and press simply won't be treated the same, adding, quote, "Those are the risks everyone signs up for."
All right, Garrett, thank you.
Well, a former U.S. Marine who was held in a Russian prison for more than 4 years has been released. Yesterday, President Trump announced on social media that 32-year-old Robert Gilman was freed on a, quote, humanitarian basis. He is believed to be seriously ill, and there was no prisoner exchange with Russia here. This video we're going to show you, it shows his arrival overnight in San Antonio, Texas, on a stretcher. Roughly 2 months ago, Gilman was diagnosed with a dissociative stupor. That is a condition where a person becomes catatonic, unable to interact or eat. U.S. officials said he also suffered a severe case of pneumonia. Now, Gilman was convicted of beating a police officer back in 2022 and given a 3.5-year sentence. While serving his time, he was accused of attacking a prison inspector, beating an investigator, and assaulting a prison guard, which resulted in an extended 10-year sentence. According to U.S. officials, he was tortured and provoked by Russian authorities and forced to take medication. Russia has not commented on his release.
The death toll in Colombia is rising this morning in the aftermath of Monday's devastating earthquake. More than 200 people have been reported killed, with thousands more still missing. The Trump administration says it's sending a team to the disaster zone to help respond to the powerful 7.4 magnitude quake. Our NBC News correspondent George Solis is in Colombia, where rescue crews are in a race against time, searching for those still trapped in the debris.
This hospital torn apart during dangerous tremors that rocked the region when an earthquake hit Colombia. Healthcare workers forced to care for newborns outside. A family in Pereira narrowly escaping their home, the ground beneath them cracking. Seconds later, debris comes crashing down. Others scrambling for safety, running out of the school as columns fell around them. The death toll rising as more than 3,000 people have been reported missing by relatives. Rescue teams now desperately searching for survivors at this collapsed apartment building in hard-hit Cali.
Take a look at this human chain of first responders and volunteers, some of them survivors themselves, all of them moving that smaller debris. The objective here is to clear the road so that bigger machinery can get in.
There have been glimmers of hope. This 6-month-old infant pulled from the rubble, captured by a local news network, reporting that rescuers heard voices calling out from the concrete. Firefighters saving this 35-year-old man who was trapped. A brief moment of silence to listen for signs of life, and then cheers. "There are people," one man exclaims. Emergency crews putting this survivor on a stretcher as those gathered celebrated. This aerial footage showing the vast destruction across the region. Angela Yabarba's building collapsed and says it's a miracle of God she's alive. Everything was destroyed, she says. The water pipes burst, the floors cracked open. 15-year-old Samuel Rubio showed up bringing water to rescuers. He was in a class when the quake struck, sharing this video he filmed. I wouldn't be here, Rubio says, if the building had fallen on my school. It happened to all of us Colombians, he says. We all feel it. Estefania Peralta says she's holding on to hope. We have to hold on to that, she says. Hope that there might be someone alive.
And this is what makes it so hard to get people out of this debris. You can see just how high it's stacked. An army of volunteers and first responders moving heavy buckets to hopefully be able to find somebody in this rubble.
Extraordinary effort there, George. Thank you.
Well, this morning, people across the Midwest are cleaning up after another round of deadly storms ripped across the region last night. The Chicago area was hit with blinding rain and winds gusting to nearly 100 miles per hour. The winds were so strong they uprooted trees like this one and toppled power lines.
Those strong winds also sweeping through Ohio. An interstate traffic camera in Columbus captured the moment this vehicle was lifted into the air and flipped over. This morning, Ohio's governor is declaring a state of emergency in several counties that are dealing with widespread flooding and damage. much.
NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa is in Portage, Indiana, in the northwest corner of the state. She joins us with the latest. Maggie, you have just been covering so many storms for us this weekend, and right now you are, I know, in this hard-hit area where you said really just the damage has stunned you in some ways. What is it like this morning?
Yeah, guys, it's feeling like the worst version of Groundhog Day with these storms. Once again, we're on the ground with insane damage, like trees down, power out across the region. But we're walking because I want to show you this. This is the most jaw-dropping example maybe I've ever seen. Authorities say this home caught on fire and then they believe exploded. You can see some of it still smoldering here. They say one person inside was killed in this home. And they're still investigating exactly why it caught fire, but they say they absolutely believe this disaster was storm related. And we're seeing so many, again, just stunning examples across the region. Yesterday, last night, in the Chicago suburbs, we were at another house fire that authorities believe one of a few things happened. Number one, they say it was either struck by lightning or strong winds blew electrical equipment onto it, or option three is quite potentially both. That was in Frankfort, Illinois. Thankfully, no one was hurt in that incident. But the Chicago area, as you point out, was just slammed with these insane storms. They rolled through midday yesterday. The skies suddenly turned black. We had sheeting rain, crazy wind. And then in Ohio, because again, this was a huge system. We're going to step over here, by the way, as this fire truck comes through because we don't want to get in the way of first responders. We'll let them go through. Thanks, guys. In Ohio, we have this video element. I want to show you one more time of this car getting flipped by the winds. You can just see how intense and how strong they were. Guys, obviously this is an active scene here. We're going to move over this way, let them get back to their work, but we'll just show you one more time how crazy it is here on the ground. First responders across the region doing their best to help people just start what'll be a long cleanup process.
Absolutely. All right, Maggie, thanks for bringing us that live report. We appreciate it.
Coverage is starting as daylight comes up there on that part of the country, and the severe weather risk is still lingering across the Midwest this morning.
Yeah, Angie Lastman is here with the latest for us. Hey, Angie, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning to you. As Maggie said, this is ongoing, something we're going to have to see kind of develop across other regions throughout the day, but we've already really ramped things up across parts of Indiana, Ohio, stretching into Kentucky, and we've got plenty of flood alerts to prove it. Some flash flood warnings in effect across those regions. This is, a really kind of heavy line of thunderstorms working across that area. We move farther back to the west, and we've got a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 10 a.m. today across parts of Iowa and Nebraska, Omaha and Des Moines included in that. That's going to go through at least the mid-morning hours, but we've got more of these kind of thunderstorms that are likely going to bubble up here as the day goes on. So notice we're still dealing with this same kind of front that has been just hanging around. We've got really intense heat, so no surprise that the ingredients are there for that severe weather to pop up as we get through the day today across parts of the plains and the Midwest. By tomorrow, still some of these scattered to, strong thunderstorms across parts of Colorado. The Rockies stretching into Ohio, parts of the Midwest, you're going to see those, as well as the potential for some heavy rain and the flooding concern to last too. Here's where we're watching for the severe threat as we get through at least this evening. 16 million people, parts of the plains stretching across the Midwest, down through the Ohio Valley. We've got Evansville, St. Louis, Des Moines, all included in that. It's the wind gusts and the hail that we're most concerned about, but of course, an isolated tornado not out of the question. And remember, I said there's plenty of flood alerts. That's another big concern today as we gear up for an additional multiple inches of rain. And in some spots, we could be looking at 5+ by the time we get through at least tomorrow. And I sound like a broken record, but the heat continues. We've still got these above normal conditions across much of the southern tier of the country. 52 million people under those heat alerts now, and still running anywhere from 10 to even 15 degrees above where we should be for early August. We've got 101 for Waco. It's going to feel like 106 for St. Louis today, 90s in Lexington. We've got 94 for the actual temperature in Macon, but feeling like 101. And unfortunately, that continues even as we get into tomorrow. There's not a whole lot of relief across this region, even for the extended period, guys.
Angie, we have to share with Savannah our new name for August.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. I'll let you do the honors.
We decided it's August. Ugh.
Really sums it up.
Really just, Angie's going to have shirts made.
My birthday is August 26th, so I don't appreciate that
won't be
so
on
much.
that day. That day
You all show up with the
August
shirts on my birthday.
We'll be back to August.
It'll be
for
the
that
other
day.
29 days.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.